How is everybody doing? It's Sunday. That means I have to go to work tomorrow. Fun times. Let's see. Pulling up the live chat here, just in case anybody has any questions. All right. Putting together the second rescued Xbox. This is the one that's, I don't know, arguably in better shape. Although I'm noticing some dirt I didn't clean off on the top of the lid. Let me do that. Get some paper towel. Oh, I missed that. Considering I had this underneath water in the sink. Whatever. Maybe something got dusted over it. Who knows? None of this matters. Probably not going to keep either of these, so if someone wants it clean, they can do it themselves. All right. Let's get going. So I used moderation helps. Yeah, I don't really care. Stupid piece of shit. All right. I used this on the CPU, GPU, because I got the clamp here that I broke when I was disassembling before. So the replacement clamp came in the mail, and I did a thermal paste for both of these. And then I was just like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to stream this shit. So then I stopped. So it's been on hold since like Friday, and this is the first time I've frankly just had time to stream or felt like it. So we shall see if this all works today. The reason why this is kind of worth saving a bit more than the other one is because this is a 1.6 original Xbox, whereas the other one was like a 1.2, 3, or 4. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of those. This is actually a 1.6B because it has the hijinks RAM. I don't know if you can see it right there. So this is technically the most desirable or whatever. Not if you want to mod it, but you know, if you want it to last. So depends on what your motivations are in life. So let's get going. Like I said, I did a thermal paste on the CPU and GPU, and then I like just loosely dropped this in and then had the sudden realization that, you know, I'm supposed to be filming this and then stopped. So, you know, if you really want to see someone dropping a power supply into an original Xbox that bad, just watch my last stream, I guess, right? And then you can see me do that on the first Xbox. So the first Xbox, by the way, is still open. It's not sealed, and that is because the disk drive that came with it did not work. In fact, it was horrific. And then I tried the disk drive that came with this one, and this also did not work. So this one was a Samsung drive, which I was hoping would work, because generally speaking, the Samsung drives are much better than the Philips one, which was the one that came in the other one. But no dice. It did not work well for me. So, you know, what you gonna do? However, we do have a surprise, and it's that way, right there. So if you stay till the, well, not the end per se, but towards the end, when I can move my camera to show you, we have something else there, and I'm hoping to maybe pull a working DVD drive out of that. I'll give you a clue. It's the fifth Xbox, but it's special. So outside of me working on these two just to rescue them, because these were just horror shows before, like literally, I don't know, eighth of an inch of clay and dirt and vegetations and dead spiders and everything else. Um, these are going to find a new home. And then I'm kind of making my own system right now that's going to be a composite of all the best stuff. So I have a Hitachi drive coming in. I'll be using the shell of the one that's over there. Um, I thought about getting a 128 meg upgraded 1.6 board for it, and that's less for the RAM and more just because I would then have the little mounting spot here for Project Stellar. But I have one of those like skeleton keys coming in, which basically does the same thing if you want to get online. So I don't know if I really care about that. It's a lot of money between the new board and the Project Stellar to put out. I mean, the pluses on Project Stellar would be that um, I can go ahead and play like imports on this thing without modifying it, and then I could play the system with Xbox One and Xbox Series controllers, or maybe just Xbox One controllers. Can't remember which. Anyway, but I don't really care because I have some brand new third party, not the crappy third party, but like newer ones, Retrofighter ones. I don't want to give it too much away until the end, but basically they match that console over there that I'll be putting those with that shell with. Um, so I don't really need that functionality either. I guess it'd be nice to run imports, but I'll be honest with you, uh, Japanese Xboxes didn't really have a lot of exclusives, and most of them are just bad, like really, really, really bad games. I was looking at a couple last night, and ugh, like they to say that they were indie games would be an insult to indie games. Like they were just really, really bad, dude. Um, there's one game that I was looking at that legitimately looks like a Nintendo 64 game, and not a good one. Not like some sort of impressive feat, mind you. I don't know if those tabs are supposed to be outside or inside. Hmm. I did not pay attention to that when I installed that, so I have no clue. It's a learning experience, right? I think it goes on the outside. I'm going to guess that. Outside sounds easier, so outside it is. All right. Start screwing in the logic board here. So one good thing about the 1.6s, whichever one you get, 1.6 or 1.6B, is that they don't have the clock capacitors right here. There's actually technically one, but it's basically built in, and it lasts a ridiculously long amount of time. So there's really no. I'm actually thinking that that has to go in there. Those little feet. This is different than the one I just worked on. So, oh yeah, that seems right. So let's maybe, I don't know. The board's crooked. I know that. Got to be careful when pushing around here because there's capacitors like all over the place. I don't want to push a capacitor. This is just a little bit off. There's like this standee here that's not lining up. And I'm trying to find a good place to push it. There we go. Except now that doesn't line up. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's try getting this corner screwed in if we can. I'm hoping that we have everything lined up. It still feels like we are a little bit behind. Yeah, that doesn't sound too good. I don't want to ruin the standoff because they're just plastic. It needs to be pushed in more towards the back. And I don't know why, unlike the other board, it's not doing that as easily. It looks like I'm off by like a 1/16 of an inch. Now, I'm going to try maybe one of these screws back here, which are a little bit more aligned. And maybe that'll push the board towards the back. Honestly, I have no clue. I don't know why this is not wanting to go in any further. What's it look like from the back? I see there's a space back there too. I'm gonna try pulling this out again. Of course, now it's stuck. All right. Yeah, that's so odd. Like I'm getting resistance back here, which is not allowing me to press the board as far in as I need to. I literally have my fingers in here right now, which is great, and it's starting to really hurt. Ugh. Okay, I gotta say, I like working on the non-1.6s more. Let's try to get these rear screws mounted, and then hopefully it pulls the board back. That's really odd. I'm not sure why I'm having this problem. It literally feels like I'm fighting something, man. That's weird. These look flush now, so I have no freaking clue. It's further back this way, on the left side. Okay. It's in there now. Not gracefully, I might add, but it's in there. Yeah, there's a block here happening. And I don't really know what the hell it is. It is not lining up nicely. Huh. I really don't know what's going on here. If I be brutally honest with you. Yeah, the board is tweaked. Yeah, I don't like this. It's coming out. It's got to come out. I think it's in crooked somehow. You know what they say. When in doubt, pull it out. All right. Something is going up with this. Maybe the RF shield is fucked. I mean, that could very well be. Or or it's not in all the way or something like that. Okay, all these posts seem good. Everything's pushed down properly. RF shield is in. Power supply mounted just fine, so that's not a problem. Yeah. Ah, maybe that was it. It wasn't pushed in all the way. Okay. Maybe that just tweaked everything a little bit. Let's try it again. Okay, well that's already going in easier. So maybe there was the power supply that was tweaking the RF shield. No clue, man, but this is definitely going in easier. I think I can line up those back holes now. Especially this back left one. We'll start with the back left one because that's where it's still pulling a little bit, but it actually looks like it's fairly lined up now, so that shouldn't be so bad. Okay, that's one. I'm not sure if these feet are supposed to be in there or out of there. I'm putting them in there. We'll see how that does me. Can always love the unexpected bullshit you come across when dealing with this shit. Alright, I think we're lined up now pretty good across the board. It's a hair not perfectly straight, but every single one of these that we get in, it'll pull it back to where it needs to be. It's way closer than it was last time, which was off enough to be a problem. Hopefully the DVD drive in Xbox number 5 over there works. And presuming that this system works, we'll test it in this, seeming as the drive that it came with was busted pretty bad. But, I mean, the capacitors are good. The thermal paste is replaced. Last time we got a couple boot errors, but we fixed it pretty easily. So I'm hoping for the same or better luck with this. Be nicer because this is definitely a more desirable board. And if someone doesn't care about the DVD drive, someone can definitely make this their new Xbox, especially if they're going to mod the thing. So we'll see. screwing down pretty easily now, so it's definitely lined up. I think it was the power supply not being imperfect. It was giving us some issues, so pretty good to go now. But yeah, so hopefully when I can get my Xbox set up, everything will be great. I got some goodies to throw in there, make it special. I'm still going to keep a stock setup like a stock OS, but there will be new hardware in there, which will be a process. Tightening down these remaining ones here. Okay. We should be good. Looks fine. All right. I hate these fans, man. They don't exactly make a lot of sense. I think that tab, like, oh wait, I have it spun around, sorry. It's this way. I know what I'm doing. Kind of. I clearly don't. Wait. Oh, okay, sorry. Tabs go this way. So there's clips on the bottom here, and then there's 2 clips on the back, and they all have to kind of go at the same time. Like I said, God forbid we use screws. That would be too easy, Microsoft. There we go. Why aren't these clipping in place? There we go. Holy crap. Okay, fans in. Good. I guess next, because this could be a potential issue. So when I took out this one, because I'm assuming these Xboxes were outside baking in the Arizona heat because of how much just clumps of dirt and vegetation and bugs were inside. So when I took this out, the clip here that holds in the tiny little daughter board for the eject and power button snapped. And as you can see, I super glued it back in place. And it seems to be holding, but I have to push down with the daughter board, which could break it again. So, we'll see. Okay, that worked, and I didn't break anything. Well, that's a plus. All right, so daughter board's back in. Let's go ahead, move that to the side. Put this here. front panel's back on. It's all lined up as it should be. Let's get the controller ports back in while we're here. Put the power back into the logic board. It's in. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to these, so it's kind of whatever. Plug that into the logic board. Fucking A. And same thing with this guy. I like to plug everything in the wrong order so that it makes my life more difficult. There we go. There we go. So this goes into the right plug of the two, and the front control panel for the eject and power goes on to the left. Okay, that's in. So all these plugs are plugged in. This is for the hard drive. And unless I'm missing something obvious, I think that's basically it until we start throwing back in the DVD drive and the hard drive setup. So let's get the caddy. Actually, first off, where's the hard drive? The hard drive is underneath this. So we need to attach the hard drive to the caddy. The pinouts. I'm trying to remember which way this goes. Yeah, that way. So the pinouts go towards the rear. So that gets dropped in like so. Okay. Just take some screws. They use the same screws on like literally everything except for the 4 long carriage bolts that hold the bottom together, or 5, I should say, sorry. So you don't need to keep track of your screws with an original Xbox, which is kind of nice, because everything is this exact same screw, whether it's the logic board or the power supply or hard drive caddy, or oh, actually, speaking of which, I need to put screws down for the controller ports, lest I forget those. There's just 2 on each one. Like I said, if we can rescue both of these, that would be great. And then technically the 4th Xbox I have, which is the really nice 1.6B, that is getting its capacitors replaced right now, but has a bad drive. Well, not a bad drive, but not great. It's kind of sticky, but it still runs, unlike the first 2. If I can combine that one with that one, then that'd be great. Like I said, I do have a Hitachi drive coming in, so if that doesn't have a Hitachi drive and or a working one, then we can use a Hitachi drive on my system that I'll be making basically jerry-rigged from all these other parts, plus some custom parts. And then the modded Xbox will find a new home, because I'll be honest with you, the modded experience is just not for me. I like being able to put in like retail discs, and the amount of time it takes to go from Prometheus to Cerberus and then into a game is kind of ridiculous. It takes like, I don't know, 5-7 minutes all in all. And And then God forbid you change your mind and want to play a different game, you have to do the whole process all over again. It just kind of sucks. I had a modded Xbox way back in the day with an executor chip on it, and it wasn't anywhere near that bad, dude. It was actually pretty enjoyable, so it's a shame that these new non-TSOP modded Xboxes are so annoying to use. But the good news is that there's plenty of ways now that you can stock operating system onto an SSD, which is what I plan on doing for the one that's kind of being amalgamated into a new system. I can't remember which way this goes. I hate these freaking custom crappy panels. There we go, this way. God forbid we, use normal PC parts. Okay, so that's good. Just need to plug in the power to the hard drive. Oh crap, I forgot to put the other two screws on the hard drive. I got distracted by the controller ports. Let's do that before we get too far. Yep, just two more. But yeah, I'm really excited about this other Xbox I'm building. And like I said, before we boot this up, I'm going to disassemble the new Xbox over there, the special one, and rip out its hard drive. Or not its hard drive, it's a disk drive. And then we can test it in this, because I know for a fact the special Xbox right off camera is broken, like broken. So if we can, if anything, save the disk drive from it, that's a win, because I only bought it for the shell. Everything else is just kind of gravy at that point, so. Why does it feel like I'm not going in anything? What is going on here? Maybe it is a different size screw. Let's try this one. This one looks a little bit bigger. But yeah, I mean, I figured this is the time to do this. It's because Xbox stuff is kind of starting to pop right now. Yeah, that's the right screw here. Okay. And I just don't want to deal with messing with this crap in a year or two when all this becomes unobtainium. So. And then these systems I just don't want to see in a landfill, if I'd be totally honest with you. Okay, that's in. So the only thing that we're missing right here is a disk drive, so let's swap it out to Xbox number 5 and see what we have going on with this one. And this is why it's special. This is the limited edition Crystal system. This is an 04, but it's an early 04, so I doubt it has a Hitachi. If we're lucky, it'll have a Samsung. If we're not lucky, it'll have a Philips. It's kind of the way of things. And like I said, we have to disassemble this anyway, so because all these parts will basically be coming out. And we'll drop the other 1.6B into this once the capacitors are done. Find another bag here. Keep them all together. This is confusing because that obviously someone went in and then someone tried taking off the foot on this one because it's missing. But this screw has not been accessed unless someone expertly peeled back this sticker, which if they're going to go to the trouble of messing that one up that bad, it almost makes me feel like maybe they started to go into the system and then gave up. Maybe they got it knitted. I really don't know. Like I said, all I know is that this is a modded system and it's broken. To what extent, don't know. And for the price I got it for, don't care. Because like I said, even if all we get out of it is a shell, it's a freaking win. Because a working crystal Xbox right now is going for about $50,000. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not spending no $50,000 on an Xbox, so. Okay, this has definitely been lifted up. So someone has accessed these bolts. Maybe they peeled up that sticker. Why they destroyed the one on the bottom as badly as they did is beyond me. Unless they just didn't know where to look for it. It'd actually be kind of ironic if maybe it just has like a blown capacitor and the rest of the system is fine, because that can be repaired. That wouldn't be too bad. Okay, but then see, this one hasn't been accessed. That's so weird. So someone has taken 1, 2, 3, 4 of these screws out, but not 2 so far. I don't know about the last one here. And this one hasn't been accessed. So they went through 3 bolts and not 3 bolts. So they basically got halfway through and opening this up. Yeah, but then wait, if it's been modded, maybe it was just a soft mod. We'll know in a few minutes. All right, let's see what we got going on in here. take out the last one. My brain told me I took it out because the foot was missing. Let's lay it down. Get some leverage. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, it's clean. It's very clean. It's a Phillips drive, as I suspected, based on the manufacturer date. Western Digital hard drive. Inside's very clean though, gotta say. So at least it's not disgusting. I don't have to worry about that. Let's pull out the hard drive, or the disk drive, sorry. And we'll test it on Xbox number 2 over here. Just to see if we have a functional disk drive. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want a Philips in my system. So if this does work, it'll purely be for one of these broken systems. And then hopefully that Hitachi that we have coming in will work. That is my plan, because it's untested. But it's a Hitachi. I mean, I've actually had a few of those in the past, and I've never had a bad one. Like, ever. Of course, that'd be my luck. Okay, that's out. Let's move this away. I don't see. Let's take this hard drive. Push it off the side. Yeah, I don't see any bad caps. I don't see anything wrong with the power. He said that he had a problem with the video going in and out on his, so I looked that up before and it seemed like a simple solution, but who knows. But at the very least, worst case scenario is that the shell is in impeccable condition, and then hopefully the disk drive works. And until we get that logic board recapped, we can at least test the disk drive in here. Let's see what's going on. The disk drive here. Since it's already attached to one. I hate this early 2000s plastic crap like this, man. It reminds me of like old Dells. It's just bleh. Made for cost crap. There we go. Let's plug power in. Maybe. I can't see. Kind of doing this blind. I can't see where I'm working. Make sure I got this going on the right way. Yep, it's that way. Oh, it wants to so bad. Please, let's go in. I hate these frickin' little itty bitty connectors, man. There it goes. Holy crap. All right. Let's get this. And here. And this into the system. It's not going to be all buttoned up and pretty. I just want to see if it works. Okay. We're in. At least want this level so that the disk drive is uninhibited. Again, I hate this plastic junk. God forbid we use metal brackets. Okay, should be good there. All right, let's test her out. Bring this over to the Trinitron area. All right, and I'll bring you guys with. So we have the one that we fixed last time with no DVD drive. This is the one from today. Modified one that's complete. Stack of games. Yeah, unlike last time, we now have that fancy, nice white PS2. So let's hook up this new thing. Put it down here. Hopefully we have picture. even if we get a code, that'll at least tell us what we need to do, just like last time, to fix it. Again, these were not tested before I bought them, and if the other one had a code, I'm assuming this one did too, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Alright, we're plugged in. Let's turn on the tube. Good old Japanese Trinitron over here. Alright, there's nothing. Any errors? No. This just works. Okay. All right. All right. Let's test out the disk drive, I suppose. Oh, that's really nice. That disk drive is really, really nice. Wow. Okay. Phenomenal. We got a free disk drive. Let's put it in that. I mean, none of this really matters. It's booting. Yeah, the disk drive works, and it's nice too. Crazy. I wonder what's wrong with the system. We're going to have to test that one next. See what's going on there. I mean, clearly it works. Just make sure the controller ports work. I mean, I'm skipping through things, so I'm assuming yes, but I don't think I could skip this. Still, I'm really impressed with the DVD drive. Like, really impressed. It's probably the smoothest sounding one that I have, outside of the one that's in the modded system. I mean, I'm thinking, honestly, for the modded system, I mean, since it's modded, we don't really need a disk drive in that one. So I'm thinking about maybe just putting like a 3D mounted bracket for the bezel in the front and calling it a day on that. And then sending that on to its new owner. And then we can put the 2 working drives that we have in this pair that we found off Facebook Marketplace for 20 bucks. And so they're 100% and ready to go on to a new home. And hopefully that Hitachi drive we have coming in is working perfect. And that can be thrown into the crystal shell, which will be the one that is mine. I mean, actually, we have 3 working drives now. Forgot about that. We have the one that's all a little sticky. So maybe we put the sticky one on the modded one. Huh. 57. I've never played Shabu 2. I just got this actually yesterday. Played the first one, but never had the sequel.
Wanzai, South Command Quarter, Yan 10 Apartments. This is where Li Xiaotao is? First, I need to find Wanzai.
I mean,
Traveler.
it's working, so. I probably should have taken out the disc. Hold on. Do you remember the time, by the way? That's a good thing to check, I suppose. Even though it doesn't have a clock capacitor. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right. So we got a free drive with the clear system that's busted that we got off eBay that we'll be using on the final Xbox, which will be mine. And we'll use the funds sold between the modded Xbox and these two stock Xboxes once they're all buttoned up to fund mine, basically. And then that'll be going online through Insignia. And we should be pretty much good to go. I am pleasantly surprised. This one was a lot easier than the first one, outside of the motherboard being a bit of a slog to get lined up for whatever reason. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, I'll probably, like I said, I'll pop off this bezel here and put on one of these black ones onto this drive, and then keep it in here, and then put that working drive into this one and button it up. And then that one's good to go. And I won't button up anything though until we get that Hitachi drive in a few days and test if it's working. So I'll keep these two kind of open like this, so we can verify that that's working. And then once we know that the Hitachi drive is working, we know that that one will go into the clear case. By then, I'll have the logic board back probably with the new caps, and we're gold. I think we're set. So I did have an option of getting the 128 meg mod, RAM mod on a logic board, and then that would allow me to have the Project Stellar in there, but I just don't see the point. So seeming as the cat's out of the bag with the clear system, I'll show you why I don't need a Project Stellar. Project Stellar allows you to use Xbox One controllers, and we have two of these limited editions, which they only made very few of. So I can show you what they look like. They're really nice. So without that, and like I said, there's only a handful of exclusive Japanese Xbox, original Xbox games, and they're all pretty terrible or just generic or things I'm not interested in, or language heavy, or a combination of all three, frankly. So yeah, I just don't know if I really care, you know? Because that's one advantage you get from Project Stellar, is that it becomes not region locked anymore. So I don't need that. Like I said, I have the skeleton key coming in, which will allow it to go online. I'm doing this one-handed, by the way. You know what? I should just get my stand. Why I have a stand, right? Hey, you're streaming. Hey, I was just talking about you. How's it going, Jake? I don't know how much you've been watching, by the way, but Crystal Xbox is in as of today. It's in beautiful shape, albeit, broken. But the disk drive works the best out of the 4 that I have, ironically enough. Cleaning Pew Pew and listening to you. Nice. And then I was just showing off these clear Hunter controllers that I have. Maybe. I think this is the one that I opened over here. I have no idea. Oh yeah. That's the one I already opened. So you get the receiver that you plug into the original Xbox here. And then a matching Crystal controller. We got 2 of them. We got the last 2 that were on eBay for MSRP from a retailer. So these are brand new. The joysticks are a little smaller, I would say. Not the base part, like not the range of movement, but just the tops. Than a stock one, but I'm going to be putting grip tops on them anyway. And the face buttons are a little smaller, but I thought they'd actually bother me, but they don't. And then these are maybe slightly smaller, but roughly the same size as stock. This looks smaller than it is because there's a clear surround on it, but it's just as big as the black one. And then you have the black and white buttons up here as bumper buttons, and then the triggers, which feel really, really, really nice, actually. It's my favorite part about this. And then you have the stereotypical Retro Fighters D-pad, which is kind of flat. It's a little bit more... It moves more than like the Dreamcast ones, for sure, but it's not great. Like, I can't rock between left and right. So I'm not entirely sure how great that's going to be for fighting games, which is ironic because the company name is called Retro Fighters, and their D-pads are supposed to be meant for fighting games, and yet the worst part about all their controllers is their D-pads, so go figure. But I'm not going to bother testing the clear system just because I've been told it's been broken anyway, and like I said, we're going to be putting the 1.6B in there. Yeah, let me show you the top shell. Get an idea of what we're looking at here. I mean, it's in really nice shape. There's some dust in like the grooves here, but I mean, there's no actual damage. And the inside of the system was actually shockingly clean. I don't see a mod chip in here, so I'm assuming by them saying that it's been modded, they meant that it's been soft modded. There's nothing physical in here that tells me that it's been modded. So I think there's just a video problem, whatever that video problem is. All the capacitors look good. I've already lifted up the hard drive and checked the power supply and checked the logic board, and everything seems fine. It does have a clock capacitor, but it doesn't seem like it's blown. I mean, I can always take it off, but at the same time, if the board is toast, I mean, I don't know. You tell me, man. I don't necessarily need it, but if you want like a spare, I can give you the innards of this one. It's up to you. And I'm not gonna like have you pay for it or anything. Like, if you just want as a thank you for the capacitors you're doing on my 1.6B, just let me know. But I mean, I don't like the idea of throwing things away, but at the same time, if it's broken and it has something to do with like video or whatever, and that's outside my wheelhouse. There's only so much I can do. I can clean things up and do general repairs like with the disk drive, but past that, you know, it's kind of above my pay grade. So yeah, so we have the, I can always use parts. All right, well, yeah. So this is the modded one. I don't typically put systems on top of systems. I'm kind of anal retentive about condition, but these are all kind of scratched up anyway, man, so I don't really care. So that's the modded one that's going to definitely go. That was my Xbox until now. This is the one that we fixed last time with the Philips drive. That didn't work. This is the one that we fixed tonight. That didn't have a disk drive because it came with that Samsung that's kind of crapped out. Hell, I mean, you tell me, do you want a clapped out Philips and Samsung drive that doesn't boot? Let me know. If so, those are yours. But yeah, I think we can definitely use the innards from this. Oh, and then we have my coworker's 1.6B here that you have the logic board for, which is also very, very, very clean and will be the basis of the crystal system, because I'm going to gut that after the stream is over. And then I'll start laying the groundwork for this to be put in there instead, because I really don't know what's busted on that one. I'd rather just replace everything because I already know this one works. The only thing that's going to be a bit of a bitch here, I might as well show this because I've already spoiled the surprise anyway. So I have in this box 2 control ports, and these are white LED modded, and a eject power daughter board that's also white LED modded, and that'll be going in here. So it'll be white lit front, and the controller ports don't have the back metal housing, so the light will actually shine through the system, so white light will probably come out the grills, which I think will look pretty classy because my PC setup, everything that's RGB is white, so it'll kind of rhyme with that. And like I said, I don't know if you saw this before, but we have the white PS2, the white Saturn that's brand new. I still haven't got to play with. Tested out the PS2 yesterday, works like a charm. Loving that. So yeah, I think that's the end of the stream, guys. Appreciate you being here with me, and I'll catch you next time.